suck and unsuck your relationships. Today, I'm going to share with you some of what I've been going through and some of the lessons that I'm taking from it that hopefully can help you along your way. And maybe you can give me some of what you think I should do and how I can learn from it. Roll out. So what's up, guys? Like I said, suck your relationships. Now you're probably wondering, what does that mean? It doesn't suck. I don't want it to unsuck, or it doesn't unsuck. I want it to. What does that mean? I don't even know. No. But really, what I want to talk about today is, sharing some of my thoughts and some of what I've been going through, some of the tough things that I've been presented with in my life, and hopefully it can shed some light. Some of the lessons that I've learned along the way. By no means am I an expert in relationships. Oh, Lord knows that I am not a relationship expert. But this is just opinion, maybe a little controversial. You may like it, you may not. Either way, I'm going to share it. You let me know your thoughts, and we can discuss at some point. So first, give you a little background. I've been having some trouble with the opposite sex, I guess you could say, lately. And I've been questioning a lot of what I've been doing and questioning my relationships and questioning, whether I should be blaming the other person, whether I need to look within myself, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, this and that, yada, yada, yada. It's been a tough situation, but I'm working through it, and I've been doing a lot of thinking, and it brought to mind a couple of lessons and a couple of thoughts that I feel I could take away from this and that I could share and hopefully help somebody who's going through a similar situation, maybe an even tougher situation, because by no means is my situation the hardest. I am totally aware of the fact that people have it a lot rougher, and that's totally fine, but hopefully I can help you out. One of the things that I kept doing a lot was I kept kind of finding blame within the other person, and I stopped to think for myself. I said, what do I get when I put the blame on the other person? I started pondering, and I said, nothing, because then there's no responsibility there for me. I can't learn anything. I can't change. I can't adapt because I'm solely blaming the other person. Wrong. And it brought to mind a story. I knew this guy. Oh man, this guy. He had kids with multiple different women. He had been in several relationships, married twice. Polar opposites too. He married a woman because she was a homemaker and she wanted to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom and raise kids. That's what he thought he wanted. Didn't like that. Got the opposite end. Got a woman career-oriented, very goal-oriented, and she was going for things. She wasn't really a stay-at-home mom, wasn't really thinking a lot about kids. He didn't like that either. Got completely different ends of the spectrum. And when I sit down and talk to him and kind of talk him through his problems and be a quote-unquote good friend, right, and hear him out, you know what he would say? All the time. Oh, if she only did this, if she didn't do that, if it wasn't for this, if she only thought the way that I thought, if she only, saw it through my eyes, if it was all her. And you know what I took from that? I asked myself, I said, what's the common denominator here? What is the thing that keeps being the common denominator? For those of you who aren't math geniuses, that's the number that goes below the fraction. Anyways, what's the common denominator here? And I was thinking, and I said, oh, it's him. I mean, he's the one that's been there through the entire time, and he has no idea how to look himself in the mirror and say, this is my fault. It's a tough conversation to have with yourself. It's very difficult to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm to blame for this. What can I do to get better? If you do look at yourself in the mirror and have that conversation, you will learn. And you will learn a lot more than when you point fingers at other people. So I'm not doing that. I'm taking full responsibility for my actions, because then I can correct them. Number two, when you're in a bad or a toxic relationship, it's actually a lot like sports. Now, Joe, what do you mean by that? When sports, or even in life and business or whatnot, ask anybody. You learn more from your L's, your losses, your failures, the things that didn't go right. You learn from more than anything. That's something to keep in mind when you're going through a tough situation with your relationship. You're learning more from those bad ones than you are from those good ones. You're getting a lot from those. You may not realize that at the time because it sucks, you're hurt, there's a lot of emotion there. By all means, I know where you're coming from because I'm an emotional guy myself. Some women can vouch for that. They're probably out there, probably like, yeah, he is.
screw him, he's a crybaby or whatever.
Real, I'm taking full blame for it. You know what I'm saying? You grow from these relationships, so don't be discouraged at the same time. It's okay to wallow for 5 seconds. When you fall off your horse, the main thing is that you get back on that thing. As cliche as that sounds, life is in the cliches. Don't be afraid. Get back up on that horse, even when you go through a bad situation, because you've gotten stronger from this. Leads me to a beautiful segue. The last lesson is that you gain so much emotional strength from bad and toxic and harmful relationships. When you've gone through the ringer and you've done everything that you can, or thought you did everything you can for this person, went through the ringer and it was just tough, at least you know you can get through it. Are you alive? Another cliche, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Keep that in mind. You know, if you got out of a really bad relationship, one that was very hard, that you had so much difficulty with, and you know, they dragged your heart and you went left and right and all that. If you're in that situation or gotten out of that situation, just know you're building a lot of emotional strength, a lot of emotional and mental strength. And that should give you a lot of confidence moving forward. You know that now you've gone through that. Now you know, number one, what you don't like, what you do like, what you're working on to become a more appropriate person for the person that you're looking for. And at the same time, you're building yourself up. I am not a huge believer in that there's one person for you. I feel that there's several people that it can work with if y'all work together, right? I think there's like a handful of people that it could have worked with, right? So that's just my opinion. You know, you can tell me that I'm wrong. I'm just sharing that with you. So that was the last thing, but here's a little bonus as well. I'm under the impression that it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. Now, I may be completely wrong. You may look at me and say, he's full of and maybe I am, but I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. What do you guys think? Do you think it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all? I really don't think it's better to have never loved at all, because then you would have never experienced that emotion. You never would have gotten the full life cycle, you know, all of the emotions that come with, you know, being a human and being alive and, you know, experiencing some tough love or some bad love, I guess you could say, in the situation. Let me know. What do you think? Is it better to have loved and lost, or is it better to have never loved at all? If anything, if you're not getting love from a significant other, just know you're getting some love from So Grateful Joe from afar. Appreciate you guys for watching. Deuces.